Topping today's news, a man is dead after a hit-and-run accident on Eleuthera. The Ministry of Finance looking to scale back on new upgrades to the prison. The government and gas station owners closer to an agreement on profit margins. And there is a bipartisan move in the works to build a new parliament complex. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jcn News. This is your JCN Evening News. It is a pleasure to have you join us. Police on Eleuthera are investigating a hit-and-run traffic fatality. A 23-year-old male of Deep Creek, Eleuthera, is the victim. According to police reports, the hit-and-run incident occurred in the area of Urban Renewal, Green Castle. Preliminary reports revealing that sometime around 3 a.m. this morning, the victim was discovered lying in the road with severe injuries, including abrasions to the face. Subsequently, he was airlifted here to the capital, where he later succumbed to his injuries in hospital. The matter is under active investigation as they seek to find the driver of that vehicle responsible. On Saturday, meantime, police on Abaco were left to investigate a traffic accident that occurred on the SC Boodle Highway, which resulted in the death of a 37-year-old man from Murphytown. Similar to sexual assaults and armed robberies, police have reported an increase in traffic fatalities so far this year, causing concern for the Minister and Ministry of Transport. In addition to questions leveled towards Labor and Immigration Minister Keith Bell concerning his decisions and actions in the Department of Immigration, which the official opposition describe as violations of the law, the FNM also have concerns about Minister Bell's recent touting of the Department of Immigration's collection of record numbers in revenues generated largely by the issuance of work permits. During the budget debate in June, Minister Bell boasted that almost $80 million was collected, while leader of the official opposition, Michael Pintard, says some staff at the Immigration Department have an issue with those record numbers.
One of the points raised by staff members and others is that we keep bragging about the income and revenue from immigration as if this was supposed to be a cost center or revenue generating center, and that the minister had latitude to do creative things to increase income. Well, persons are concerned that revenue is being generated not just officially and in inappropriate manners. So revenue should not be generated from somebody who's detained and ready for deportation, or who has been deported and has an approved work permit. The question is, who else is benefiting from submitting all of these applications? Are we selling work permits? Are we selling permanent residency? Are we selling citizenship?
Mr. Pintard is also questioning Bell's capacity as Minister of Labor, considering a number of immigration officers have been put on leave under his watch.
Should future ministers of immigration also preside over the Department of Labor? No. Because if you are a senior officer today who have been put on leave, and some have been put on leave, and they filed a labor dispute, they are going to the very ministry that is adjudicating all of these matters. And also, if you have some bad actors, and we clearly have some bad actors, who are presiding over issuing work permits, they are also the ones who we rely on to tell us an honest story if enough people applied or didn't apply for a particular vacancy that exists in the Bahamas.
Following the commotion outside the House of Assembly on Monday morning surrounding the Labor and Immigration Minister, on Monday afternoon, the Office of the Prime Minister released a statement by Prime Minister Philip Davis stating that his administration is working to respond to a number of concerns that have been raised in respect to several immigration enforcement matters, as they take such concerns very seriously. The statement said Bahamians deserve the facts, and they are working to pull together detailed answers to answer these questions and concerns, and they look forward to responding in short order. Some sad news as the female Haitian national who fell ill during the repatriation exercise of some 275 Haitian nationals on Monday. The Bahamas Department of Immigration transported the group on 2 Bahamas Air flights back to Haiti. However, prior to departure, one of the female migrants fell ill, resulting in a medical emergency, according to Chief Immigration Officer Rudolph Ferguson. In a press statement released by the Department of Immigration, they noted that as the aircraft taxied from the gate, they had to return abruptly due to complications with one of the female passengers. The nurse stationed at the Lyndon Pindling International Airport, along with emergency medical technicians, rendered medical assistance. The Doctors Hospital West emergency medical team arrived by ambulance to provide further medical assistance. Unfortunately, at that time, the female migrant had passed away. The Royal Bahamas Police Force and the Haitian Embassy, they have been advised of this unfortunate death. Plans for upgrades to the Bahamas Department of Corrections will have to be downsized. The government has given instructions to revisit those plans as it was deemed too costly. The original price tag for the new medium security building was set at approximately $40 million, which then ballooned to $93 million. However, National Security Minister Wayne Munro, in giving an update, says the Ministry of Finance is not satisfied with the dollars and cents.
There was an approval for the Ministry of National Security, the 3P investor, and the Ministry of Finance to finalize the details. The Ministry of National Security and BDOCS would be concerned with the scope. Finance would be concerned with the dollars and cents. Finance has said that it's not satisfied with the dollars and cents and sent the parties back to come up with something that they may find acceptable. I'm due to have a presentation on that, whether that relates to issues around the scope, for instance, asking for VAT or customs duties exemption. That would be matters that would be addressed. But at the end of any procurement, the Ministry of Finance has to be satisfied before it will provide funds. And so that is my understanding of what has happened. It is not unusual.
Recently, Commissioner of Corrections Dawn Clare said a few major upgrades to the facility, including the addition of solar energy, may be cut down due to the cost. Minister Munro, however, says they are currently in discussion as one of the government's mandates is climate action.
So the facility is supposed to have photovoltaic cells, solar panels, and there would be a price. You can say, if you want solar panels, this will cost $1 million, $750,000, and then finance would make a policy decision that it makes sense to get it because it saves on electricity. And then as a country that's challenged with global warming, we might decide that it makes good sense for us to be advancing the agenda. And so in every procurement that we do, that is considered. So for instance, on the procurement of the new flagship, the shipyards have been asked to quote on an eco-friendly vessel that has catalytic converters in the engine. And so they've provided, this is what the conventional vessel costs, this is what an eco-friendly vessel costs. So that exercise is ongoing.
Construction on the new correctional facility is still expected to begin this year. Minister Munro says the new facility is much needed as it is being designed to meet a number of urgent priorities. And finally, in this segment, there may be a light at the end of the tunnel for gas and diesel retailers as negotiations between the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association and the government is into its final stages. Breaking the news was Financial Secretary Simon Wilson, who said today that those negotiations should be completed by the end of summer.
Not right now. I think those discussions are in abeyance. We have a proposal before them, and they have a counter proposal before the government. I'm assuming that perhaps late in the summer we'll get together and try to finalize it.
This comes after months of lobbying between the petroleum retailers and the government to change the profit model from the existing fixed margins to a fully percentage-based model, which would allow more flexibility when the price of oil fluctuates. Jcn reached out to President of the Retailers Association, Vasco Bastian, and he is pleased with the way the discussions are going. He says if everything goes right, the public should see a drop in gas prices by the end of summer.
Negotiations with the government are ongoing. We continue to talk with the government. We're very, very pleased with the position that we are in regards of moving forward with the government. We speak to the Prime Minister and the Minister of Financial, Secretary on and off, and we are looking very, very, very favorably to resolving our requirement to our inquest and to a margin increase.
Mr. Bastian says one of the main topics of the negotiations was the high cost of electricity bills. However, he remains optimistic.
So our concerns collectively has not wavered. Our concerns are still the fact that we cannot continue to sustain the level of service that we've known to give to the general public at a fixed margin of 54 cents. But we are happy that the government is continuously talking with us and trying to come to some positive resolution. I think this resolution should be resolved hopefully by the end of summer.
Retailers earn 54 cents on a gallon of gas. An amendment would likely help some gas stations from closing and others from implementing layoffs and taking other cost-cutting measures to stay afloat. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.